I like to include the free resources as well, from like your email list, freebies and lead magnets, all the way up through your paid offerings and services, products, that sort of thing, right? But like mapping out kind of like everything that you offer to your people is really, really great for ChatGPT being able to strategize for you.
Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Kinsey Soderberg. If you don't know who Kinsey is, she is the founder of Authentic AI, a company designed to help female entrepreneurs put AI to work. Her course is called Brand Blueprint for ChatGPT, and her podcast is Authentic AI. Kinsey, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing so great. Thank you so much for having me here. And I'm just overly enthusiastic. The jazz hands are coming out today, guys.
All right, bring out the jazz hands. Today, Kinsey and I are going to explore how to train an AI model to your brand voice and allow that to open up all sorts of fascinating business opportunities. Now, before we get there, I want to hear your story. How'd you get into AI? Start wherever you want to start.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love to share this story because I think it's pretty relatable for a lot of people. I started my business, my OG brand, about 6 years ago now, which is crazy. It was called Feel Good Social. And I went through that normal, entrepreneurial journey of like slapping spaghetti against the wall, trying to see what stuck kind of thing. And honestly, what ended up happening was I saw all these awesome big name entrepreneurs online showing up as like this professional image and, polished hair and polished nails and all the things. And I was like, oh, okay, that is how I need to show up in order to see the success that they're seeing, right? And so I started trying to show up in that way and talk about similar topics in the similar way. And I went through that journey of realizing, man, I am exhausted just trying to show up as someone else all the time, right? And it felt cringy for me, kind of icky. It felt just like tiring to like have to try to put on a face all the time, right? And so I quickly kind of made that executive decision to just lean into who I truly am and show up online as myself. And man, everything just kind of clicked at that point. And, I felt just so much more enthusiastic about what I was sharing, the message I was spreading. I felt just so much more aligned with my audience. I felt like I was attracting the people who truly like were aligned with me and I could actually help, right? And so long story short, authenticity became a huge value of mine in not only just my personal life, but also the way I show up in my business. And then also what I encourage my audience to do, right? So that was 6 years ago. And I've been building my original brand, Feel Good Social, up until about 2 months ago. I finally let go of Feel Good Social. But I will say about 2 years ago now, I first started hearing about AI tools online, right? At the AI craze, everyone was like, have you tried ChatGPT? I was like, no, what is it? So I tried it, right? But I'll be honest, like when I first started hearing about AI tools, I like to say I was a total curmudgeon about it. Like when I'm sharing about this in presentations, I'll include a meme of Mr. Wilson from Dennis the Menace, the grumpy neighbor, because I was totally like that grumpy neighbor shaking my fist at the internet's fence, being like, isn't the internet fake enough as it is? What's this going to do to our creativity or our critical thinking skills? Is AI going to take my job or take over the world, right? Like all of those AI scaries ran through my brain when I first started hearing about the tools. And I was like, not into them, right? I was like, ugh. Especially for someone who worries about authenticity as much as I do. I was just like, it hurt my little soul to think about how everyone's brands were just going to become more and more generic and robotic, right? And then I was on a long drive one day thinking about all the things, and I had one of those long drive epiphanies, and I realized that AI tools are here. And instead of being afraid of the change that they'll bring and kind of turning away from them or being against them, the best thing I could do was turn toward AI tools and get curious about how can we make these tools work for us as small business owners, and especially in a way that aligns with us so that we don't sacrifice our authenticity, our quality of work, our thought leadership. And so that's when I started my sister brand, Authentic AI, which I have now fully embraced, guys. I'm fully an AI person now. And yeah, and basically I just started playing around with these tools, right? Getting my hands dirty, trying to figure out how can we work with these? How can we get them to do the thing that we want them to do, right? And yeah, one of the biggest things that I love to talk about is how we can actually train our AI assistant to think and sound like us, because that truly is where like the authenticity lies, you know?
I love it. I love it. So 2 years ago, you kind of drank the AI Kool-Aid, as so many of us did, right?
Mhm.
And eventually, the side of you that was like, "This is not good," began to see it through a different lens, which so many people listening to this show can relate to. And now you got your own business. So kind of tell us what you're doing today, specifically. What are the services and products and such that you're offering to the world today?
Yeah. With authentic AI, it's very focused in authenticity. I teach what I call a human first approach to AI tools so that you are bringing your own thoughts, opinions, ideas, beliefs to the tool and then getting the tool to work for you, expand your own ideas, clarify your own thoughts, organize your own to-do lists, all the things. And so I really work a lot with solopreneurs or small business owners with small teams to kind of figure out, okay, how can we start using these tools in our business without feeling overwhelmed by all the options or without feeling like you have to be super techie to use these tools. No, I really try to focus on approachable, actionable things that you can do to get AI to help you in your daily business workflows and tasks. I have online courses and I offer kind of one-to-one strategy as well as custom GPT build outs, which is getting a little nerdy, guys. But if you're a super new beginner to
My
AI
audience
tools,
is gonna relate to all of that. So
okay.
I love it. I love it. So okay, big question that I think might be on the minds of some of the people listening and watching right now, which is why should marketers and entrepreneurs or creators, why should they train AI to think and sound like them or their businesses? Like persuade the people that are not sure that's such a good idea. What's the upside if this is done well?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like AI tools are here and the people who embrace them and start using them are the people who are not just going to thrive, but also like survive, right? Like this is something that we all need to start figuring out how we can use it and start to get curious about AI tools and how they can integrate into our business and lives, right? And I always say the very first step is to train your AI assistant to think and sound like your brand. Because if you think about it, if you were hiring a new human intern, right? And first day on the job, they walked in the door all shiny faced and excited, and you immediately go, write me a social media caption. I mean, they would try to do a good job for you, but it'd probably be pretty crappy, right? You haven't told them anything about your brand, your strategy, your audience, any of that stuff. And that poor human intern would be like, here's your social media caption. And you'd look at it and you'd be like, ooh, this is not good. But it's not their fault. You didn't tell them anything about your brand strategy audience. You didn't train them, right? And so the same thing goes for your AI assistant, and whether that's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, it doesn't matter. Whatever AI assistant you are using, the best thing you can do is tell it all about your brand, your ideal audience, your strategy. Give it all the details and the context for the task that you want it to do because it wants to do a good job for you, but it won't be able to unless you tell it. And actually one of the most common things I hear from people is like they just start using AI tools and they get a little frustrated with the results that the AI tools are giving them, right? They're like, it tried to write something for me and it was just like totally off base, or it was like overly cheesy, or it was too professional. And the thing that they don't realize, a lot of people get frustrated going back and forth with their AI assistant and they feel like, oh, I could have done that faster if I just did it myself, right? Well, if they would have in the very first place trained their AI assistant on all the things about their brand and the tasks that they want it to do, man, it would have given them a great answer from the get-go. And they actually truly can save so much time. I actually did the nerdy math, and I'm saving 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week, and 70 hours a month using AI tools in my business as a solopreneur. And it's crazy. Like, those numbers sound crazy to me, but like, I just added up all the tasks that I've been doing before AI tools and how long it would take me, and then realizing, man, I'm doing all of these tasks so much faster every month. And honestly, like, the results are in the pudding, or whatever the phrase is, right? Because I have actually,
The
like, not
proof
to
is in the
brag,
pudding. Yeah, the
proof
proof is
is in the
pudding.
pudding.
Yeah.
Not to brag, but I've done a lot in 2024. I did so much more than I ever have done in the 5 years prior in my business as a solopreneur. And I actually, on top of that, found a lot of freedom to enjoy my life, which I always like to bring up too, because we're always so results focused. But so many of us started a small business to have freedom to do the things we want to do and live the life we want to live. And man, I've been shutting my computer at 4 p.m. on average instead of 5 p.m. every day, like usual. I've been like starting beading hobbies. Like, I'm crafting now. I'm like, who is this? Taking the weekends off. Like, it's been awesome.
I love it. I love it. What I'm hearing you say
Mhm.
is the big side of getting this right is many advantages. If you are working, burning the candle at both ends, which so many entrepreneurs do, this is going to give you opportunity to actually get more done in less time. And with that time savings, you could choose to accomplish more, or you could choose to focus on other aspects of your life that you've been ignoring. In your case, maybe your self-care, or maybe time with your family, the kind of
Mhm.
things that so many entrepreneurs sacrifice. I love this. You did a really good job on this. So now let's kind of get into the beginning steps. So if we are to basically train the AI model on our voice, our brand voice, as you refer to it, where do we start? Where do we begin?
Yes. Okay. So I always like to preface this conversation by saying, if you want to go like train your AI assistant on your brand, like the light version, the like no work version, literally the easiest way to train a new window, a new chat on your chat GPT is to just open it up, and before you do anything, just brain dump for like 1 to 2 minutes anything you can think of
Hmm.
about your business, right? So my name is Kinsey. My brand is Authentic AI. We help down to earth solopreneurs use AI tools without sacrificing our authenticity or quality of work. Like, that alone, just saying that to a new chat window will already get you way better results than if you didn't tell it anything about your brand, right? So that already will be just like the easiest way to get started training your AI assistant. However, I do have a method that I call the brand blueprint method, and I nerd out about it because I swear this is the best way to train your AI assistant. And especially if you are using an AI assistant every day in your business. So the brand blueprint is basically like one single brand strategy document that outlines the 5 core strategies of your brand. And actually, you can get ChatGPT to help you create this, guys. So don't worry if you're feeling like, okay, but I don't know all these things about my brand. Don't worry. Your AI assistant can actually help you create this tool. But the cool thing is that once you create this crazy big brand strategy document, mine is 80 pages. I don't want to scare you. My students usually get it done in an average of 4 hours, so don't be afraid. But it outlines like basically all of this stuff about my brand, my identity, ideal customers, voice and writing style, offers, messaging. And once it's hosted in this single document, ChatGPT or any AI tool, you can use this with Claude or Gemini as well. You could actually upload this document to your new chat window, and ChatGPT can read it in like 10 seconds. It's crazy. And it will then have all of that information as like the foundation of your brand for like whatever the heck task you want to do next, right? It's like having a second brain for your business, right? Or having an assistant that has like worked with you for 5 years and it knows your brand really well, right? And it's so great because the results are so night and day. And honestly, it's great for getting ChatGPT to help write content for you that actually sounds like you wrote it. But it's also great because ChatGPT can think like you as well. So the strategy piece comes into it, whether it's big picture thinking, if you're strategizing for your entire business, or if it's small picture strategy, such as writing a social media caption that like makes sense for your brand, that shifts the perspective that you want to shift, that leads to a call to action for one of your offers or something like that.
Cool. So let's dive into like these elements a little bit. Like you said, brand identity. So talk to us a little bit about what we include there.
Yes. This is where I'm going to get super nerdy, guys, because I love talking about all the 5 core strategies of your brand. So within your brand blueprint, I like to outline them into the 5 core strategies. The first one is your brand identity, like you said, and that's your mission, vision, values, beliefs, opinions. It's kind of everything that makes your brand who it is, right? Then we outline your ideal customers because it's really important for you and ChatGPT to understand who you are speaking to, right? So this goes deeper than demographics, all of the statistics about your ideal customers, where they live, how old they are, their gender, all that stuff. That is included, but we also get into lifestyle, values, and then even deeper into pain points and problems that you help them overcome, as well as desires and wants that you help them achieve, right? So ChatGPT gets this entire awesome deep dive picture of your ideal customer, which is really, really important if you are using this for your business, because then you can speak directly to them in the way that you're strategizing with ChatGPT and also in the captions that you write and the content that you create and all that stuff. So
Okay,
the
real
third,
quick,
oh, sorry,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
Yeah, I want to back up the train a little bit here. So on the brand identity thing, mission, vision, values, beliefs, opinions. Not everybody who is a business owner or a marketer necessarily has access to this kind of information on the brand identity side of things. So can you just give us a couple tips on how to craft some of this stuff if they've not gone through something like this?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, in my course, I have prompts to get ChatGPT to help you with this. So that's so awesome. But literally, if you are wanting to start a business, it is important to think about some of those things, like what are you trying to do right now? How are you trying to change the world, right? And then also, where do you see your brand going? What do you want to get to in the future? So that's kind of just brainstorming about that, your mission, your vision. And actually, if you just brain dump that into ChatGPT or AI assistant and be like, hey, what do you think my mission and vision are? ChatGPT will have a lot of thoughts for you. So that's where I think you should start. If you're interested in your brand values, this is one of my favorite things to geek out about too, because I think that that's one of those things that a lot of people get kind of confused. Like, sure, I care about stuff, but like brand values, what does that even mean, right? I can use my own brand as an example, though.
Yeah,
Of
please.
course, authenticity is one of my brand values, right? Because authentic AI. And in the very beginning of this interview, I told that story about how authenticity is such an important part of my brand because I've lived it. Right. I've lived that story of trying to show up online as someone else and it feeling exhausting and icky to me, right? And then I decided to lean into who I truly am and everything seemed to click in my business. It was easier for me to show up. I felt more confident in showing up in the message that I was spreading because I actually believed in it. And then also, that's what I encourage my people to do, right? So when it comes to really thinking about your brand values, and again, ChatGPT can totally help you with this, which is what is so nice and why I love working with AI tools on this issue even, right? But I love that through line when it comes to brand values of what matters to you personally, how do you show up in your business, and also what do you encourage your ideal customers to do? If you can find a value that has a through line between all of those 3 things, then I think that's where the magic lies. But the fun thing is that ChatGPT can totally help you decide and like kind of figure out your brand values and stuff.
I love it. Okay, so we start with brand values, then we go to ideal customers, and I think the marketers in the audience totally understand the whole ideal
Mhm.
customer side of it. What's next?
Yeah, next is one of the funnest parts, your brand voice and personality and writing style, right?
Okay.
So your brand voice and writing style, I think that that's the best portrayal of like your brand's personality, and I love this so much because, and this is where a lot of times people get it wrong when working with AI tools, right? And getting it to write content that sounds like them. Because a lot of times people will be like, write in a friendly tone of voice. Well, if you think about the word friendly, friendly has like an umbrella of lots of different variances and nuances underneath it, right? You could be like a bubbly friendly, or you could be like a kind hearted friendly. There's like a lot of different descriptive words and nuances that can really pinpoint exactly what your personality is in your writing and just how you show up in the world, right? And so when it comes to thinking about your brand's personality, the more specific you can be, and especially with your writing style as well, then the more easily ChatGPT will be able to replicate your brand's voice and writing style when it creates content for you, right?
Ooh,
So,
I have some thoughts on this real quick.
yeah.
First of all, as someone who used to be a professional copywriter, I think that this is fun because you could give it some of your best work if you're a writer and
Mhm.
ask it to reverse engineer the writing style and brand personality. Or if you're just getting started and there's someone you look up to, right? Like maybe you love Amy Porterfield and her style, you could ask it to do a little research and tell you, because maybe you resonate with that. What is Amy's style, and how could I model some of that? Because a lot of people that aren't writers aren't going to understand this. So this is where really you could train. You could have a model reverse engineer your style. Don't you agree?
Oh, completely. And actually that's part of the process that I take students through in the brand blueprint. If you already have a unique writing style and you feel so proud of your copy. And guys, like I'm that person. I'm such a word I call myself a word nerd, okay? And I was opinions editor at the student newspaper in college. Like I like to write, let's say. And asterisks, I am a very, very slow writer, right? I labor over every word. But ChatGPT, actually, I have fed it copy that I've written and it can replicate my brand's voice very, very well. And I'm like impressed because I did not think that robot would be able to copy me. But long story short, actually feeding it your own content that you've already written is the best way to get it to understand your brand's voice because there's so many little nuances that you don't even realize, right? Your formatting style, your emoji usage. One of my favorites is your humor style. I found out through using ChatGPT that I have a self-deprecating sense of humor. And at first I was
Oh,
like, okay, ChatGPT, I'm feeling a little like called out here. And also, I'm like, okay, whatever, go with it. Tell me I have a self deprecating sense of humor and write in that way because you're getting me. So apparently that's it. But yeah, you can gain so many insights by feeding it copy of your own. And exactly, you can find your own brand voice and writing style through using these tools. I love that you brought up the example of Amy Porterfield. Maybe you want to kind of like vibe like her in that same way. One thing I will say that I especially want to encourage you to lean into if you are kind of one of those people where you're like, ooh, I love Amy Porterfield. I kind of want to adapt a brand voice that's similar to hers. What I would do is have ChatGPT kind of analyze what is Amy Porterfield's brand voice style, right? And then find those descriptive words based on like kind of the analysis of her that then you can take and make your own, right? Because one
right.
of those things that we run into with an issue sometimes is when we're like, write this like Taylor Swift or write this like a specific human, right? A specific person. But we want to make sure that we are like taking this and making it our own still. And I don't want you to fall into the trap with your AI assistant of trying to copy other people because like then you're not finding your own uniqueness anyway, right? So
Yeah,
use the
100%.
descriptive words from AB, but maybe not like don't say right like Amy Porterfield every time or anything.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so far we've talked about your brand values, your ideal customers, and your brand voice, right? Oh no,
Mhm.
brand identity, brand values, ideal customers, and brand voice. But there was something else also, right?
Oh, yeah. There's two more strategies. This is why this document is so huge, guys. The brand blueprint is like a big ass document. Sorry, but like it's big. So the next strategy that I love to include in my brand blueprint is my offer suite, is what I call
Okay.
it. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically just like anything that you offer to your audience. And I like to include the free resources as well, from like your email list, freebies and lead magnets, all the way up through your paid offerings and services, products, that sort of thing, right? But like mapping out kind of like everything that you offer to your people is really, really great for ChatGPT being able to strategize for you, right? So if I wanted to plan a campaign or a sale for one of my offers, then the offer suite in my brand blueprint is super helpful for ChatGPT understanding how all my offers, what all my offers are and how they work together, right? But then even little things like when I'm writing social media captions, all I have to say to ChatGPT is write me a social media caption that naturally leads to a call to action for X freebie or X offer, right? And like it can easily do that because it gets the offer already. It understands. And it also understands where that free resource might lead to later. It's really great for that strategy piece. So outlining kind of what your offers are and how they work together in your brand blueprint is great. And then the fifth thing that I like to outline is my brand's messaging, right? And so this is really just like the message that you want to share with the world, the topics that you talk about often or that differentiate you in your industry, your unique takes on things, right? And then also in your messaging is your personal brand storytelling somewhat, which I think is so important to include because in a world of AI, the more human we can make our brands, the better. And the funny thing is that if you tell your ChatGPT assistant your own personal brand stories, it can integrate some of that stuff into your content that it helps you create, right? Like my ChatGPT knows that I have started making bead jewelry. I've told it this before. Like it's like not only have I had it help me come up with names for my different earrings and stuff, but I've also like said how I am saving time with ChatGPT and started crafting and stuff. Like it knows that I make bead jewelry now, apparently. Who am I? And now ChatGPT will kind of integrate that into my copy sometimes in like little ways, right? I was like refreshing the sales page for one of my courses, and in my little about me section, it like brought that into the copy that it wrote for me. And I was like, oh, ChatGPT remembered.
That's so cool. Okay, so we've got this document. Yours is massive. It doesn't have to be massive. I would imagine even if you had one page on each of these things, right? Brand identity, ideal customers, brand voice and writing style, your offer suite, which includes your free and paid products and services, and then of course your unique messaging that you focus on, which could be your takes and your stories and all that stuff. This document could grow over time, I would imagine. And you've already answered a little bit of this, but you said, AI can help you craft this. Is there anything that you have not yet mentioned about utilizing AI to help you craft this document that you want to mention before I move on to my next question?
No, I mean, I think that again, it's like I'm glad that you brought that up before, where it's like, okay, a lot of times people are like, I don't even know this stuff about my brand. How the heck am I going to create a brand strategy document to train my AI
Right.
assistant? And like just remembering that I will actually, part of the process is starting with a brainstorm myself and for my students, because I like to get my crazy thoughts out of my head and onto quote unquote paper or a Google Doc. And so what we do to start this entire process is start with a brand brainstorm. We kind of brainstorm about all of these things ourselves so that we can get our ideas into ChatGPT using our own language and make sure that ChatGPT captures our unique angle and our unique thoughts and ideas. And then we have ChatGPT expand that into the crazy 80-page document, right? But like just remembering that you don't have to know everything first. Like you can start with like an idea and just be like, I'm not really sure what my brand values are, ChatGPT, but like, I think it might be this, or like, do you have any other ideas? Like, ChatGPT can really help you to hone your brand strategy and give you clarity. And I have heard this from so many of my students. Actually, I'm laughing because I just wrote a sales email for my brand blueprint course, and the subject line was, "This has made my students cry in the best way," because that is part of the process sometimes of like creating the brand blueprint document, working with ChatGPT. So many of my students have found clarity and just like having their own thoughts and ideas and opinions reflected back to them, and then feeling the confidence of knowing how to share with the world what you are doing. Man, the entire process is so awesome. So don't feel like you have to know it all. Your AI assistant can help you figure it out.
Love it. Okay, so let's say someone who is listening has done this and they've got their document inside of a Google Doc or maybe as a PDF. What do we do with this thing?
Yes. So this is the awesome part because you have gone through this entire process. Again, my students do it on an average of 4 hours, guys. It's not too bad. And you create this crazy awesome document. I like to host it in a Google document because, like you said, this document can evolve and keep growing and whatnot, right? And if you are using ChatGPT, this works with Claude and Gemini as well, which I know people love too, and that's great. All you need is a file upload feature with the tool that you're working on. All you have to do is download the document, file, upload it into a new chat window, and ChatGPT will be able to read that entire long document very, very quickly, like 20 seconds, and then it will know all of that information immediately, right? So I like to use ChatGPT because, it's the OG platform. It's kind of my fave, but also it integrates very easily with your Google Drive. You can connect ChatGPT to your Google Drive, so you don't even have to download and upload the brand blueprint. You can just automatically inherit it from your Google Drive and hit the ground running. So I like to use my brand blueprint to train any new chat window. Just open up a new chat in ChatGPT. I start with my brand blueprint, training that. But you can also use it in a few other ways too.
Quick question about the integration with Google Drive, because I've never done this before because I've been more concerned about giving ChatGPT access to everything. Can you just give it access to one document? And also, is it smart enough to know when that document is updated to read it? Do you understand what I'm asking? Like, is it like a database almost where if you update the document, ChatGPT just knows that the document has changed, or is that not necessarily the case?
That is not the case yet. Hopefully.
Okay.
You could set it up like that. That would involve a little bit more nerdiness and automations to set up your brand blueprint as kind of that database that's like constantly being read by your
Right.
ChatGPT. But it's still really easy to just like upload that document. And I will say, if you're worried about privacy, I don't think that you can only give ChatGPT access to one thing in your Google Drive. I'd have to double check that. But, if you're worried about that, it's so easy to just download your Google Doc as a Word doc and then just upload it to ChatGPT that way.
Okay. Yeah. Or even a PDF, I would imagine. So, okay, perfect. So we are in this case, talking about just uploading this into a thread, but let's talk a little bit about other ways you can do it. Like, can you use it in ChatGPT projects? Can you use it in ChatGPT custom GPTs? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, you can. I know, I get like so nerdy. Yes, totally. You can use your brand blueprint as kind of a quote unquote knowledge base to train a custom GPT, a brand bot, as I like to call them, or you could use it as a file within the projects as well, which is a great idea too. It depends on how you want to use them. The thing about using it as a custom GPT, a brand bot, so if you use a custom GPT, your overall chat GPT memory doesn't update, right? Or it doesn't communicate with the overall.
It doesn't remember. Yeah. It's like you're talking to someone who doesn't know you every time, right? Kind of doesn't know what you previously have done with them, right?
Yeah, it doesn't know any of your past conversations for sure. So this is where it gets a little like tricky and nerdy sometimes. I really love to use custom GPTs specifically for repeatable tasks that I do in my business that don't necessarily integrate with like my big picture crazy ideas in the rest of my business, right? And I do have a brand bot that I'll open up immediately if I want copywriting or anything like that. However, normally if I'm like working within my business tasks or strategizing or anything like that, I'll just upload my brand blueprint to a normal chat window or within a project again, because like then ChatGPT will remember that weird idea I had the other day that now I want to expand on kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and since ChatGPT has updated its memory, I wonder whether you just can upload it once and never have to worry about it again. Are you finding that's the case or not necessarily the case?
I will say, man, the memory feature is great. I think that I don't really need to upload my brand blueprint document as much anymore because I have used ChatGPT so much and my memory, yeah, has definitely built on itself. But I will say that like when you start using the memory feature, it takes a little bit, right? It takes some time to build up the memory of you. So like that's what I always recommend my students actually going through the process of creating a brand blueprint with ChatGPT already helps to improve your memory within ChatGPT. But then also just like that first month, you'll definitely want to keep uploading the brand blueprint so it keeps getting that foundation. And then also if I'm ever working on a very specific task where I'm like, it needs that refresher immediately because like we're strategizing or we're doing this thing, then I'll still be using my brand blueprint. But yeah, it gets like way better with that memory feature and like paired with the brand blueprint and the process. Yeah, I'm like very impressed with how well my chat GPT knows me.
Well, and for the Claude fans out there, which I am a huge Claude fan, a Claude project would be perfect for something like this because what's great about a Claude project is, and I know ChatGPT projects are very similar, it's very compliant to the instruction set that you upload, including the documents, and you can have as many threads within that project as you ever want. Is ChatGPT project similar? Do you recommend something like that where you create a project and then it's in there and then you just have all of your conversations within a project? Does that work equally as well?
Yeah, I do like ChatGPT projects for sure. And it's nice to have that. It does have the file upload kind of knowledge base within the projects, and then you can bring multiple chats into it. One thing that I like about ChatGPT projects too is that you can drag like past chats into the project. So like I'm a little bit scatterbrained sometimes. So like I'll just start a new chat window, not within the right project or something. And it's nice because then I can like go back through and organize in my like Friday organization sessions kind of thing. But yeah, the projects in ChatGPT work really well. And it's so nice for keeping it organized too, because it can get crazy in there, as I'm sure you know.
So, talk to me about once you've got this brand blueprint document uploaded into a thread of some sort, what kind of stuff now does this enable you to do more quickly? Because that's really what people are probably curious about. Like, what are some of the examples of things that you've been doing with this, and how's it been working for you?
Oh man, I know. I was laughing because I was thinking about this question. I'm like, all the things, right? There's so many things that you can do. So guys, like just remember that like the possibilities are quite wide, and it's great because this brand blueprint creates a foundation for your AI assistant to feel like it's been working for you for 5 years, to feel like it's your second brain. And then you can go do whatever the heck you want to do, right? But a few of the specific things that I've been doing with my brand blueprint just recently. I mean, I mentioned that I did my sales page for one of my courses recently. So not only does ChatGPT help me like write content, well, firstly outline the sales page, and I asked it to use different like sales page strategies and figure out which one worked best for my course, and then I had it write my content for my sales page. It's already trained on the course, my brand voice, all the things for ideal customers. And then I also actually have had it review my sales page. So once I was done, I sent it the link and I was like, take a look at this. What do you think? Like, is there any improvement areas I could do? And it had some suggestions for that. So that was great. Speaking of sales pages, I actually had ChatGPT write code for me. I've been having it write code for me for my website and my emails. I was like, I want a countdown timer for this Squarespace website. And I know there's a code I can do it, so I don't have to pay for some extra thing. But I don't want to go down a tech forum hole because that is like so draining to my soul to go to try to find an answer on a tech forum. So I went to ChatGPT. I was like, hey, can you write a code for my Squarespace website to create a countdown timer? It was like, sure, here you go. And I was like, this didn't work, ChatGPT. Can you help me fix it? It was like, oh yeah, here you go. And then it did it right the second time, right? So like,
Really?
yeah.
That's so
And it's
cool.
actually written code for my emails too. I created like a little code to have a prompt box in my emails because sometimes I share prompts and it's like
Mhm.
a little scrolly box so that this giant prompt doesn't take up the entire email. And yeah, ChatGPT helped me write that too. So that was fun.
Talk to me when we were prepping. You were telling me about how you're also having to help you with Instagram reels and captions. Talk about that.
Oh, yes. One of my favorite things, guys, because I had to have a come to Jesus moment with myself when it came to creating social media content. Because I don't know if anyone out there is like me, but I get so in my head when it comes to social media content, especially. I like spend forever like creating the content, trying to think of the perfect reel hook, and then like trying to write the caption, and again, laboring over every word, and then waffling over hitting that post button. Like, no. With ChatGPT, I have found a system that works for me that I use for reels, especially because reels are the easiest for me to use, but you can totally use it for carousels, all the different things, any type of content you want it to create. But honestly, what I will do is because I want to make my content kind of like in the now, in the, make it like follow those trends and whatnot that are happening. I will scroll Instagram for inspiration, but I will make it productive, guys. Don't worry, because I'll kind of scroll Instagram for like trends and like funny, cool hooks. And I'll think, ooh, I could totally like recreate this reel for my brand, right? So what I'll do is actually just screenshot the reel from Instagram. I'll upload it on my phone using the ChatGPT app as a photo. ChatGPT is able to read the photo, it can read the text on the photo, and I'll say, hey, brainstorm ways I can recreate this hook for my brand. And because it's already trained on my brand, my business, my audience, it like spits out awesome things from the get go, right? So then I have the hook. And from there, it's really easy to have it write a caption for me because it's already trained on my brand voice. I can say, make it lead to a call to action for X freebie, right? And honestly, too, I have a favorite way that I like to write Instagram captions because, again, word nerd over here. I have a marketing background. I know how I want my captions to go generally. I know that I want to start with like an engaging hook and empathize with the problem, include a hot tip and then end with a call to action kind of thing. But like a lot of times what gets me stuck are the little details of filling in the blanks sort of thing. So especially for Instagram captions, I love to use what I call fill in the blank prompts or Mad Lib style prompts, where literally I will kind of like, if I know how I want the caption to go, I'll kind of write out a Mad Lib style caption and just have blanks like, are you struggling with blank? Question mark. I can help. Start with blank, 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 and then do blank, and then we can blank or something. You know what I mean? And then ChatGPT will fill in the blanks for me. So
No
that's
way.
one
That's
of
so
the
cool.
that's one of the great ways I've found to write captions too, especially if you're picky like me.
Love it. Okay. We don't have an enormous amount of time to talk about AI workflows, but why don't you pick something that you're excited about that you've been doing with the workflow side of things, just because I know that we had agreed to talk about this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And when it comes to integrating AI into your workflows and your daily tasks, I mean, again, we all have different workflows and tasks, right? That we deal with on a day-to-day basis and stuff. So it can be overwhelming to feel like you have to all of a sudden AIify everything in your business and life, right? And that also doesn't make you very productive if you're all of a sudden thinking, okay, I have to like AI everything, but I don't know what I'm doing, right? So instead, I like to encourage that people take a look at the workflows that they already have in place in their business and just think like, what steps in this process could I use an AI tool to speed it up a little bit, right? So for me, again, I use AI in my content creation process for the reels, all that things. I use it for my podcast workflow to write my show notes. So take a look at your own workflows and get curious about, could AI somehow help me speed up those things that I hate doing or the things that take a long time, and just slowly start integrating them into your workflows. And then the one thing I do like to bring up too, because this is where I find I save so much time, truly, is using AI, not just like for my systems and workflows that I have in place, but also in those day-to-day moments when I get stuck, right? Like when I'm typing an Instagram caption and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know how to finish this thing, right? Or the tech troubleshooting for my like countdown timer, right? I would have wasted 30 minutes going down a tech forum hole, but instead ChatGPT helped me fix that in 5 minutes, right? So ChatGPT can really help you like blast through those blocks and get you unstuck in those moments where you're feeling like you're banging your head against a wall, right? And okay, so the dorky thing that I always like to share too is because when I first started using AI tools, I would forget. I would forget that I could go to ChatGPT and have it help me with those getting stuck moments, right? So, what I did to train myself to use ChatGPT for those moments is on a sticky note, I wrote down, can ChatGPT help me with this? I stuck it next to my computer screen. And then when I would get stuck in my day, I'd like roll my eyes. I'd see that sticky note, can ChatGPT help me with this? And I'd be like, oh, can it? Like maybe it can. And usually it can, or it can point you towards something that can. So use the sticky note technique. I know it's like really high tech, but you can handle it, I promise.
What's funny is I had Jeff Woods on the show, and he has a very similar question that I have on my monitor. How can AI help me with this? And literally, it's stuck at the bottom of my my monitor, and I see it out of the corner of my eye when I roll my eyes up or back or down, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. It's exactly the same thing. I just have AI instead of ChatGPT. I so relate to that, and I'm telling you, that little thing is a big deal, because the moment you see it, you're like, duh, I just need to, it needs to be a habit, right? Once it becomes a habit, all of a sudden everything is better. Kinsey, this has been awesome. And I know there's people that are going to want to connect with you. So if they want to connect with you on the socials, where do you want to send them? And if they want to work with you, where should they go?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun. So I would love to connect with anyone who's listening. I hang out mostly on Instagrams. So send me a message. My handle is at Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs. So it's a bright purple kind of profile photo. You can't miss it. And then, make sure you send me a message, because I'm also a talker and love to connect with people too. And then my website is DIY with .ai, so DIYWITH.ai. And if you want to find all the fun resources specifically for this audience, then you can go to DIYWith.ai/SME, because I've included just all the fun things there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kinsey Soderberg. Really appreciate you sharing your insights with us today. We are so much better because of it.
Thank you so much.